Alright, Broncos country, let's just make sure that everything is nice and stable on this live stream before we officially kick things off. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Empower Field at Mile High. This is Week 12, Denver Broncos versus Cleveland Browns pregame tailgate stream. I'm your host, Gage Madrid. Hope everybody is doing well on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We got Kenny Miller Sr. in the house saying, "Let's go Broncos." This is a very big game with a lot of playoff implications on the line for both teams, guys. This is one that could very well decide the final wild card spot, or hell, even like the 5th or 6th wild card spot at this point. I mean, at this point in time, man, the Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns are both teams that are really built very similarly and try to win games in a very similar fashion. So I'm really excited to see how this one goes. We got Mark in the house saying, "God, I love Broncos football. Let's go." Good to see you, Mark. We got Fight for Freedom in the house asking for a score prediction. We'll get to the score prediction a little bit later on. We will get to that, don't worry. We got Antelope in the house saying greetings. Good to see you, Antelope. You look cold, Gage Burr. Hope you have a great game. It's actually not too bad. I'm wearing short sleeves right now. It's great, actually. Like, there's plenty of sun out. The weather's actually really, really fantastic right now. So yeah, that's going to be absolutely awesome. But this is going to be a game, again, these two teams built very similarly. Browns, of course, without their starting quarterback in Deshaun Watson. So they're going to be starting Dorian Thompson-Robinson at quarterback today. They're going to be leaning heavily on their run game, much like the Broncos have leaned pretty heavily on their run game over the last few weeks. Defensively, we have to try to take away Cleveland's run game and basically force Dorian Thompson-Robinson to beat us through the air. That's going to be the big key. Play a lot of single high man coverage and basically dare DTR to beat you with his arm. That is the best way on defense for us to win. Now, offensively, of course, we're going to have to establish our ground game, but I'm highly suspectant that this Cleveland Browns defense is going to try to stop our run game. So this could be a game where we need Russell Wilson to step up. I don't anticipate a whole lot of points being scored in this game. I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest, an absolute dogfight all the way. So this is going to be one where you can't afford to make too many mistakes. The Cleveland Browns, they have been prone to turning the ball over recently. So the Denver Broncos, another key for them, they have to get turnovers and then they have to capitalize on those turnovers. They have to score. We got 17-10 Broncos, Vaughn Miller says. Garrett says 31-14 Broncos. Hey man, I can see a scenario where that could happen. I really could. Especially if we force Dorian Thompson-Robinson into turning the football over. If we can shut down the Cleveland Browns run game, I could very easily see that. But again, this is one of the toughest defenses that the Broncos have had to face in quite a while. This Browns defense is one of the best in the NFL. It all starts up front with Myles Garrett. He is the best edge rusher in the league. That man can single-handedly wreck a game for you. On the other side, they have Zadarius Smith. On the interior, they've got some strong pieces on their D-line. Dalvin Tomlinson, our old friend Shelby Harris. So, I don't know, man. This is going to be a really, really tough fight up front in the trenches. Cleveland's linebacking core has taken a little bit of a hit, though, as their starting linebacker, Anthony Walker, is going to be out in this game. For sorry, I was just making sure my stuff didn't get stolen. For Denver, though, we do have a big piece that is set to return today, as PJ Locke will be starting at safety. He is good to go with his ankle injury. This is the way things have been trending ever since he got a full practice in on Friday. So PJ Locke going to be back in there in the starting lineup. That's going to be absolutely huge for us. Gives a big, big boost to our defense. Even when Kareem Jackson was in there last week, I didn't think he played all that great. We sorely missed Kareem Jackson, or we've sorely missed PJ Locke. Meanwhile, guys, we got some guys taking the field now for the Denver Broncos. Looks like we got Marvin Mims, Tremont Smith, already have the special teams unit out on the field. Riley Moss is out. Looks like Jaleel's out. Big Red has a secret admirer. Why is JL Skinner inactive instead of Turner Yell? I get the special teams, but JL can't do the same job. It's just all about consistency on special teams, making tackles, making the right decisions, those kind of things. And right now, they clearly trust Delarian Turner Yell more on special teams, which I totally understand. That's a fine role for Delarian Turner Yell. That's the main reason why he hasn't been cut, honestly. I am low-key surprised Damari Mathis is active, though, because they finally started utilizing Riley Moss in the dime last week. So I'm a little surprised, honestly, that Damari Mathis is active for this one. We need to stop being so predictable by always running on first down. Well, again, I fully expect Cleveland to try to shut our run game down. So this is one, again, where Russell Wilson's going to have to try to beat this Cleveland Browns team with his arm. I think both teams are going to follow very similar defensive game plans, put it in the quarterback's hands. And when it comes down to Russ deep versus DTR one-on-one, I'm taking Russ 10 times out of 10. So that's going to be kind of the overall theme, I think, for this game. But again, guys, if Denver can get some turnovers with this defense, they've got to be able to score 7 off of them, not just 3. Riley Moss pick today. I can dream, can't I? Hey, man, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. It's really not. Who knows? We could see another Jaquan McMillan pick today as well. So, yeah, guys, again, this is going to be a very defensive-heavy game. I don't anticipate a whole lot of points being scored. This one could come down to which kicker makes all their kicks at the end of the day, man. That's what really this one could come down to. This is going to be a game where you cannot afford to make any mistakes, even if they're just little mistakes, because little mistakes can cost you points in these kind of games. This is going to be a tough dogfight all 60 minutes. Broncos are going to have to stay conditioned. They can't let themselves get fatigued. This is all going to be about mental toughness and mental discipline if the Denver Broncos are going to want to win this game. So we're just going to be waiting here, guys, just for a couple more minutes. I imagine here pretty soon Russell Wilson, some of the linemen, guys like that will take the field. It's going to be about 36 degrees for the game today, so perfect conditions. Garrett asked if I have season tickets. I don't have season tickets, but I do come to all the home games. Last Broncos home game before I leave for vacation. Yeah, this is going to be the last Broncos home game for about a month. We are going to have another home game until Christmas Eve against the New England Patriots. So this is going to be one that I'm certainly going to enjoy, our last home game here for about a month. So, yeah, man. All right, Browns quarterbacks are taking the field right now. Quarterbacks and centers, Dorian Thompson-Robinson and P.J. Walker. Got to be honest, I think there's a chance we might see both of those quarterbacks on the field today. Again, guys, on paper, with us going against a backup quarterback and a somewhat shorthanded Browns defense, on paper, this feels like a Denver Broncos win, but the Broncos can't afford to get complacent in this one. They can't afford to get sloppy and undisciplined like they did at various points like the Minnesota Vikings game. So, again, man, Broncos are going to have to be on their P's and Q's on this one all the way. I see a lot of deep balls to number 14. That's another thing we're going to have to talk about here, guys, because the Browns are going to be down one of their starting corners today in Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in the business, certainly the best corner on their roster. So at the end of the day, man, if Cortland Sutton doesn't have a big day, I'm going to be disappointed. Denzel Ward being out is big for the Broncos. It sure is, Antelope. It sure is. Hell of a game last week. I enjoyed Mile High Stadium. Was next to about 12 drunks. That's hilarious. I was next to a couple of shirtless high school kids. Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, guys, again, this is a good opportunity for us to beat the Cleveland Browns. Today is that day because they are shorthanded on defense. Obviously, they don't have their starting quarterback in Deshaun Watson. That's more of an addition by subtraction, if we're being completely honest, based on how well Deshaun has played this season. But at the end of the day, man, this is one where, on paper, this should be a Denver Broncos win. Jerome Ford, Browns running back, taking the field now. So yeah, guys, let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts about today's game. Let me know what you guys think the overall score and theme is going to be. My score prediction, I'm going to say, I know this probably isn't going to be a popular take, but I'm going to say Denver 10-7. I don't think we score a lot of points in this one. I really don't. It's going to be all about limiting the Cleveland Browns' opportunities with their backup quarterback. Another game-winning historic drive for Russ today. Win-win, have fun. I sure will. It's going to be an absolutely awesome environment here at Mile High. It always is. And for the Denver Broncos, this is, for all intents and purposes, a playoff game, because, I mean, at the end of the day, if we lose this game, our playoff odds will drop down into the single digits. That's the only way to go to the Broncos games, to get high and drunk. Well, I certainly am one of those. Let's just say that. Certainly am one of those. But, yeah, man, again, this is a game that the Cleveland Browns also desperately need to win. Houston is losing now. We need this win bad. Absolutely, man. Yep, they're showing it on the Jumbotron right now. It is 21-14 Houston. About 4.5 left to go in the third quarter. Russell Wilson is nowhere near John Elway's caliber to pull off another drive. Don't insult Elway like that. Hey, man, you never know. We need a 98-yard drive. I think Russell Wilson could be able to orchestrate one. You never know, man. Indianapolis Colts beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is slightly bad news for us, but again, guys, we got to take care of our own business in this game. And I saw a stat on Twitter today that actually kind of surprised me, but it does make sense. The Denver Broncos have only scored 1 rushing touchdown on the whole season. So I'm hoping that today we can get Jaleel McLaughlin more involved, maybe in the red zone, Samaje Perine, Javonte Williams. Maybe one of our running backs can finally score a touchdown today. I cannot believe that in 10 games so far, the Denver Broncos only have 1 rushing touchdown on the year. That is insane to me. So that's something I certainly hope that we'll be able to change in this game. You got kickers warming up right now. Dustin Hopkins for the Browns. You got Will Lutz over there getting all stretched out. Riley Dixon getting ready to go. Why can't we use Kroll? Well, Kroll was not promoted this week. All right, guys, here we go. Broncos taking the field right now. Let's get it, baby. Russ and Jarrett Stidham take the field. Some Browns take the field. Skill position, guys. Let's go, baby. Power field about to rock and roll today. All right, guys, so yeah, that's my final score. I'm going with 10-7 Denver Broncos. I really feel like this is going to be a defensive struggle. Got some more Browns taking the field right there. But to answer your question, Garrett, I don't believe Kroll is up today, so he's probably obviously not going to be utilized, but when it comes to tight ends, we only really have Adam Troutman and Chris Manhertz up, as well as Nate Atkins. So we should also potentially see Greg Dulcich back within the next couple of weeks. First Broncos game on Fox this season. Yep, that's right. I believe it's going to be Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez calling the game, if I'm not mistaken. I'll obviously watch the TV copy tonight when I get home. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and dip out of here. Before we go, guys, let me know your score predictions in the chat below. I always would love to know. Again, guys, I'm sticking with 10-7. Denver Broncos get the win. It's going to be all about which quarterback can perform better today, and I honestly have a lot more confidence in Russell Wilson than I would in somebody like Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So let me know your thoughts. Oh, second game on Fox? Wait, no, I thought it was the first. What was the other game on Fox? 20-13 Broncos, Antelope says. Yeah, let me know. What was the other game on Fox? I cannot remember. What jerseys are the Broncos wearing today? They are wearing orange today. PJ Locke is playing DH, yes. Which is obviously going to be huge for us in that secondary. Provides stability. PJ Locke, as far as I'm concerned, is the starter moving forward for the rest of the season, even when Kareem Jackson returns. I just feel like at this point in time, PJ Locke gives the Denver Broncos a better chance to win. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and dip out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. David says, have fun at the game. I sure will. It is going to be an absolutely awesome time. All right, guys. And until next time, Broncos country, I, Obi Wabanhobi, good to see you. I am your host, Gage.